We'd like to call this meeting to order, March 24th, 2021. We'll go ahead and do a roll call to get started. Chair Astle is here. Vice Chair Sarkisian.
Here.
Board Member Boyle.
I'm here.
Board Member Allen.
Here.
Board Member Crockett.
Here.
Board Member Villanueva Salcedo.
Here.
Board Member Ayers.
Here.
Okay, all the board is present. We will call this meeting to order, and we're thankful to those who are here to participate. I think today, as you saw in the initial video, we will present a consent agenda that we discussed over our study session just before this meeting. One item was removed for discussion today. That is item 4C of our consent agenda, along with its associated Plat 5A, so that will be removed. Board Member Boyle is going to read our consent agenda today. We'll go ahead and turn the time to him.
Okay, this is the Planning and Zoning Board public hearing consent agenda for Wednesday, March 24th, 2021. Items on the consent agenda. Item number 2, the approval of minutes from the previous meetings, minutes from March 10th, 2021, study session and regular meeting. Item number 3A, ZON 20-00884, District 6, within the 4,000 to 4,400 blocks of South Ellsworth Road East Side, and within the 4,000 to 4,400 blocks of Southeast Parkway West Side, and within the 9,200 to 9,800 blocks of East Warner Road North Side, and within the 9,200 to 9,600 blocks of the East Mesquite Street Alignment South Side, located north of Warner Road and east of Ellsworth Road, 121 plus or minus acres. This is a modification of the development unit plan, the DUP, for a development unit 2, DUP 2, within the East Mark Community Plan, CP, also known as the Mesa Proving Grounds Community Plan, to allow a large-scale campus type as one of the allowed uses on the DUP2. Staff recommendation is approval with revised conditions that were discussed in the previous meeting. Item 3B, ZON 20-00888, District 6, within the 9,200 to 9,600 blocks of East Elliott Road South Side, and within the 9,200 to 9,600 blocks of the East Mesquite Street Alignment North Side, within the 3,600 to 4,000 blocks of South Ellsworth Road East Side, and within the 3,600 to 4,000 blocks of the Southeast Mark Parkway Alignment West Side, located south of Elliott Road and east of Ellsworth Road, 145 plus or minus acres. This request is for the approval of the development unit plan for the development unit 1 within the East Mark Community Plan, also known as the Mesa Proving Grounds Community Plan. Staff recommendation is approval with revised conditions discussed in the previous meeting. Item 3C, ZON 21-00057, District 6, within the 8,800 to 9,100 blocks of East Ray Road, North Side, and within the 4,900 block of South Ellsworth Road, West Side, located north of Ray Road and west of Ellsworth Road, 35.2 acres. This is a site plan review and a special use permit to allow for an industrial development. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions. Item 4A is ZON 19-00832, District 6. Should I read this whole thing out or just say it's continued?
I just maybe introduce the project briefly, doesn't need to get into all the details, and then.
Okay. It's within the 1800 block of West Main Street and the 100 block of North Dobson Road. This is a modification of the Sycamore Station Smart Growth Community Plan and will allow for mixed-use transit-oriented development. The staff recommendation is continued at April 14th, 2021. Item 4B, ZON 20-00210, District 5, within the 6,800 to 7,000 blocks of East University Drive South Side, located east of Power Road and on the south side of University Drive, 1.6 plus or minus acres. It's a rezone from LC to LCBIZ overlay and a site plan review. This request will allow for the development of a commercial center. The staff recommendation is continue to April 14th, 2021. Those are the items on the consent agenda for today.
Chair, board members, and just for clarification, for items 3A and 3B, those are the revised conditions of approval that were discussed at today's study session meeting. And with regards to 3A, it's 181 acres for the record.
Okay, thank you.
Do you need us to repeat those, I presume? Just the that last sentence, F recommendation. Go ahead, Tim, and just state that.
The staff recommendations for item 3A and 3B are approval with the revised conditions that were,
In today's study session.
that were discussed in today's study session. I thought I said that, but, and item 3A is 181 acres.
Perfect. All right. At this point, do we have any questions from the board prior to entertaining a motion? Okay, I am open to a motion for this consent agenda.
I would like to move that we approve the consent agenda as read in for the record on March 24th, 2021.
I'll second.
Okay, great. With a motion and a second, let's go ahead and do a roll call vote. Chair Astle, yes. Vice Chair Sarkisian.
Yes.
Board Member Boyle.
Yes.
Board Member Allen.
Yes.
Board Member Crockett.
Vote aye.
Board Member Villanueva Saucedo.
Yes.
Board Member Ayers.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes unanimously, and we approve the consent agenda as read. Okay, at this point, we will move to the next discussion in our meeting, the public hearing related to case 4C. This one is ZON 20-00877 in District 1 within the 2400 block of North Old Gilbert Road, east side, and within the 2000 block of East Hermosa Vista Drive. And this will be a discussion regarding a rezoning of RS 35 to RS 15 BIZ. I'm also going to read in for discussion, as will be part of this, item 5A, which is the associated plat, Los Nietos Residential Subdivision, District 1. We can go ahead with a presentation from staff, and then we'll open up a public discussion.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board. This is case ZON 20-00877. It's located south of the 202 Red Mountain Freeway, east of Gilbert Road at the northeast corner of Old Gilbert Road and Hermosa Vista Drive. The general plan land use designation is for neighborhood suburban, which is primarily for single residents and including also schools, parks, churches, etc. The requested zoning is single residential 15 with a bonus intensity zone overlay. The intent of the single residential zone district is to provide areas for detached single residence housing. So this request is for rezone from RS 35 to RS 15 BIZ, as well as approval of a preliminary plat for Los Nietos for a 6-lot residential subdivision. This slide shows a view of the site from the southwest, looking northeast across towards the site, and the second photo is a view of the site from Old Gilbert Road, looking southeast. There was a landscape plan submitted and subsequently revised, so this isn't the correct one. The amenity area on the property includes a tennis and basketball courts, covered patio, and play areas, as well as, there's a perimeter wall around the subdivision, which is 8 feet in height and includes superior design. The bonus intensity zone overlay is requested to allow for some variations to the residential zoning requirements, and those are listed here. In summary, the request complies with the Mesa 2040 general plan, and it complies with the requirements for a BIZ overlay per section 1121 of the Mesa zoning ordinance. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I appreciate that. And I think we are pretty clear on the project. We've been able to discuss it somewhat during our study session. I know that we do have we most likely have the applicant available. I'm not sure if they're on the call or not. We will make that known here in just a second. And we also have, I believe, one comment card for this case that we would like to hear. Any comments from the applicant prior to hearing from neighbors in this public hearing? Okay, well, staff, let's go ahead and maybe, Becky, if you would you present the comment card and any that would like to speak? regarding this case?
Thank you, Chair, board members. Gregory Scaven is the one applicant we received a comment card, or a person we received a comment card. He resides at 2037 East Hermosa Vista, and his comment was, while I support the proposed rezoning, it's important to discuss the related easements to the planned subdivision. We need to keep as much of the existing citrus trees as possible, and this will require a relocation agreement between SRP and the City of Mesa. Without the relocation agreement, this will adversely impact both me as well as my neighbors who are directly south of the proposed development.
Okay.
That's his comment.
And Gregory, are you available here to speak today?
I am. Can you hear me okay?
I can, yeah. If you just for the record, you state your name and address, and then let's go ahead and take 3 minutes or whatever you need to help us understand what your concerns are.
Okay, thank you. My name is Greg Scaven, and I'm a resident at 2037 East Hermosa Vista Drive in Mesa. I've lived here for 29 years now and counting, all on Hermosa Vista Drive. So just my comments are just, I purchased this property all those years ago because of its location and proximity to the citrus groves. When I first learned of the plans to develop the groves, which are immediately north of my property, I had expressed some concerns, but there's been great transparency by Jared Cox and the property owners about what they've intended to do with the development of that property. So I just for the record, I want to make sure I let everybody know I really do appreciate that. As a part of my concerns in discussions with the property owner, they're willing to entertain a provision in their CC&Rs that's consistent with everything in the surrounding community, which is a minimum of 5 citrus trees to be retained per lot. Now, one of the challenges, though, and I included this in the comment card, has to do with the related easements for both the City of Mesa and SRP for this particular property. And right now, I believe that the property owner has petitioned for a relocation agreement that will allow for a 5-foot overlap of the City of Mesa easement along with the SRP easement. The only way to keep as many citrus trees as possible to the south, the most southern boundary of the walled-in location of the proposed subdivision will be to get that relocation agreement approved. Otherwise, if the relocation agreement isn't approved, it moves the wall 5 feet further to the north. SRP won't allow for any location of trees in its zone, and it would force the property owner to take out an entire row of citrus trees. So I'm asking for basically approval with conditions, and part of those conditions would be that this relocation agreement be completed between SRP and the City of Mesa to agree to this 5-foot overlap in the related easements. So that may confuse others on the phone, but hopefully I stated all that so it's understood, but I don't think I have any other comments.
Thank you very much, Gregory, for your time. I think one of the challenges here, and I'll let staff and the applicant jump in, is the inability to really dictate how SRP will move forward with their easements, as that's somewhat of a crucial utility for both your neighborhood and this site. Staff or applicant, I would open the time to you for a minute just to maybe discuss what has occurred, or at least give confidence that these items are in discussion, or we're accommodating it in the best way we can, that type of thing. Is the applicant available?
Greg, thank you. Yes, I'm on the phone. This is Dennis Porter. And Greg, thank you. You stated that very well. I'll let Jared speak a little more to the technical side of what Greg was explaining there.
Okay, if you could state your name and
Jared
address,
Cox.
Jared, that would be helpful, and I'd love to hear your comments for some clarity.
Chair and board members, this is Jared Cox with Vista Design Group. I'm the applicant on this, and what Mr. Scaven explained is exactly correct. We are working right now with SRP and with the City of Mesa to create a 5-foot overlap of the SRP easement with the City of Mesa right-of-way along Hermosa Vista Drive. And if this overlap is approved, then we are able to place our place our wall in front of the row of existing trees. If that overlap is not approved, then we do have to push our wall 5 more feet into our subdivision, and that lines up directly with that existing row of trees. And so we're endeavoring to save that row of trees, but SRP is in favor of the overlap. We just have not heard officially from the City of Mesa Real Estate Department if that's going to be allowed. It sounds like it might be, but we haven't received anything official yet from Robert Apodaca or other staff.
Okay. And of course, without all of those parties here today, staff, what comments would you have as it relates to a way, again, you know, there's a lot to look into for some of the easements. Sometimes it can't all happen in one comment, or not easy to stipulate as there's a lot of factors. So what are the thoughts as to how we would address this moving forward?
Chair, members of the board, as it relates to this easement, a lot of times for conditions of approval, you'd be conditioning the approval of the relocation of an easement to meet a code requirement. In this instance, the preservation of those trees isn't a requirement of the code, and we're not within the citrus sub area. So they are working it out. I know that the issue is something that they've been working towards. The last I heard was that I haven't heard any opposition to the idea of it at this point, but they're still working with the real estate division, and it'll be worked out through the planning process.
Okay. All right. Well, I think at this point we understand. Board, do we have any questions or comments at this point as we're discussing this? Okay. This one's hard for me. I have trouble stipulating something. I do see and have confidence in the developer, as well as based on how I hear they're working with Greg, which is very good to know. And it feels like, yeah, again, it's something we don't necessarily know all the factors in, but I feel like we could at least expect, and based on comments today, that will continue and the effort will continue until hopefully the outcome that everyone wants can occur. Any thoughts as to how we might, or anything that we might need to do in addition to that? Board Member Boyle, I saw you take mute off. As Board Member Allen?
I think my mute beat your finger, Board Member Allen. I think I feel the same way you do, Chair. I think that the existing plans and the plan they're having to work with is adequate. I don't feel like additional stipulations, which would be hard to manage in the future and everything, are necessary for this project.
And my only concern or question is that the 5 feet difference, you know, that we talk about, we're going to have to move the property line either 5 feet one way or the other. I understand that, you know, the desire to save the trees, but my concern is legally, it'll change the dimensions of the lot if I'm correct, if I understand correctly, if we move the property line one way or the other. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Chair,
if the fence,
that actually is, it would not change the lot dimensions because it's an easement, not a.
It's an easement over the top.
It's just a PUFE or whatever. That's the only difference. Then the property line, the dimensions of the lots in the subdivision are going to stay the same. It's just whether there's a PUFE or public utilities or whatever it is the only thing that make a difference. Yep. Correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Correctly, as designed, it's a 3-foot PUE, and it would expand to 5 feet, or excuse me, it'd expand to 8 feet if the overlap agreement or isn't approved by Mesa. And yeah.
Okay. And we don't have anybody right now from real estate services or engineering that can give us any idea of how that's going. I know it's a city issue. It's not really our issue as far as the board is concerned. I would just like, if we did have somebody available, I would like to hear their opinion on it.
Staff, do we have anybody on the phone? I presume not. I think we would have heard from them at this point.
Chair, members of the board, we do not have anybody on the phone. This is a discussion we will continue to have. It's outside the purview of this review, but we
Right.
will absolutely work with real estate and then the applicant as well to make sure that whenever the PU issue is resolved, those streets are kept. So we'll definitely pursue or follow up on that.
Yeah, thank you. And I do have great confidence that all parties are working toward the right outcome on this. It sounds like ultimately we have all of all of staff reviewing it. And again, as Board Member Allen stated, safety concern, any of those items will come into play. And as long as we've agreed based on what we hear today, that conversation will continue to happen. I believe the best outcome will also occur. So I believe at this point, I'm open to a motion regarding this case.
I'll go ahead and take a stab at that if that's okay. I would recommend, can I go ahead and I'll just state them both at the same time. I would recommend that we approve ZON 2000877 District 1 within the 2400 block of North Old Gilbert Road and within the 2000 block of East Hermosa Vista Drive, located south of the 202 Red Mountain Freeway and east of Gilbert Road. 4.55 acres, rezoning from RS 35 to RS 15 BIZ. This request will allow for the development of a single-family residence subdivision, and the staff recommendation is approval with conditions, as well as the associated preliminary plat. I'm not going to pronounce it correctly. It's Los Nietos Residential Subdivision, District 1, within the 2400 block of North Old Gilbert Road and within the 2000 block of East Hermosa Vista Drive, located south of the 202 Red Mountain Freeway and east of Gilbert Road. A preliminary plat and the staff recommendation of approval with conditions.
Thank you very much, Board Member Allen. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Board Member Villanueva Salcedo. All right, let's go ahead and vote. Chair Astle, yes. Vice Chair Sarkisian.
Yes.
Board Member Boyle.
Yes.
Board Member Allen.
Yes.
Board Member Crockett.
You're
Board
mute.
Member Crockett. Your vote is muted.
I'm sorry, I vote aye. Thank you.
Okay. Board Member Villanueva Salcedo.
Yes.
Board Member Ayers.
Yes.
Okay. Our recommendation is unanimous to council on this one to be approved. So that is great discussion. And I want to thank both applicants and Greg specifically for your time. We always appreciate and need to hear from the public. This is what we're here for. And I do look forward to seeing this project come together and hopefully in a way that is appropriate and safe for all. So looking forward to it. Okay, at this point, staff, anything else that needs to be addressed today prior to finishing our meeting?
Chair, board members, no, we will see you on April 14th. Thank you, right? Yes.
Perfect. Yep. All right, I can entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
Perfect. All in favor, please vote aye.
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 All right, guys. Well,
Aye.
thank you very much, and thanks to all. We'll see you April 14th.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.